All right, everybody, here we are. This is the final IG. This is trade unions. I'm Walker. This is the Vicky 3 Academy here on We Play Games. Just in case this happens to be the only IG video that you watch, I'm going to do a little review of what an interest group is, and more importantly, how to interact with it. So an interest group here, you can see that they all have their funny little names, and they all have this clout thing here. So what is clout? Clout is going to be all of their political strength, plus all the modifiers to their political strength. And the political strength in most countries is going to be mostly coming from wealth, but as you democratize, you're going to be adding votes to the equation, and those votes are going to smooth it out, where the more people that you have voting for that interest group, the stronger that they will become. And so how do people decide to end up in an interest group? Well, they decide based off of a couple of things. You can always check by setting up your outliner and clicking on the thing and then going and mousing over population. That's going to tell you the basic things about the population, the pops that are supporting that interest group. So profession is not. What this means is, wealthy people are not going to be supporting trade unions. Not employed in agriculture, ranches, or plantations means you want to be actually not just have them be not wealthy, but have them be urban. And that's also highlighted down here. Non-agricultural employment. The laborer's profession, machinist profession, and if you happen to have labor movement, then you remove this little penalty. And a lot of them are structured the same way, where there's like ways for you to support it if you're not the primary professions that they go for. But there are some primary professions that they go for, and so of course the more of those that there are kicking around in your economy, the stronger that interest group is going to become. So the trade unions are going to be really helpful for you in terms of making your country really powerful in the mid and late game, just because of the laws they support, the population types that support them in turn, because again, as you industrialize, they're just going to become more numerous. As well as these little bonuses. The bonuses that they give you are pretty nice. So the most important one, if you have a trade union that is not marginalized, that is at least in interest groups, like whatever they need in order to be considered a non-marginalized group in your political economy, make sure that they are at least above a 5, because minus 15% state construction efficiency is brutal. The plus 5 approval rating. So like these are just coming from the approval rating of these guys, which is going to be mostly coming from their laws, but can also be coming from loyalists and stuff. If you're at plus 5, you get a 10% bonus on manufacturing industry throughput, which is good. 10% is absolutely sweet. But just be aware that this is not going to dramatically transform your society the same way that this is. For some of these IGs, like the plus 5 is basically good enough, and then the other ones, the 10% is the one that the plus 10 is the thing you're going for. I think the plus 10 is the one that you really get the most value out of trade unions for, because of the way workforce ratio is going to work. That's just adjusting this ratio between you see here dependents and then like people who have real jobs. That just adjusts the ratio there, and it makes sure that your population, your workable population, never runs out, even if you're at war, right? Even if you're at war and you need to conscript a bunch of pops and send them to the front line, then solidarity is going to help you a lot there. So in order to make these guys happy and accomplish that, you do need to make sure that your laws are in a position that they're not going to be mad about it. So you want to make sure that you look through here and see, is there anything in this block that I like? As a matter of fact, if you play the game, an awful lot of this stuff is stuff that you should actually really like. So graduated taxation is pretty good. It's graduated is a little tricky to value versus proportional taxation, but they prefer both of them to per capita taxation, which means that if you want to go into a better tax level you can. Interventionism is really sweet, and if you want to end up in a command economy, then you're going to need to have powerful trade unions anyway. Protectionism isn't bad. It gives you maximum tools to manipulate the behavior of the AI. Old age pensions isn't bad, although it is a little dangerous. You want to be careful in regards to how much welfare you have kicking around in your economy on 1.0.5. They like having a healthcare system. I mean, like, basically everything that these guys want is gonna make your country stronger, except maybe migration controls. They also will resist moving from national militia to mass conscription, which means that you're gonna have to either come up with a way to just force it through against trade union resistance, or just settle that you might have to be stuck on national militia if you go into national militia early. And they're anti-slavery and anti-serfdom. So, like, basically every single law that these guys want in order to become happy are exactly the sorts of things that you want to be doing anyway. And so you get to have a powerful and happy trade union to just be there, right? What if this were a powerful and happy trade union? Plus 20% workforce ratio? Yes, a lot of them would probably end up becoming peasants at some point. But, like, even if you just have a bunch of peasants extra because you have a big and happy and strong and powerful trade union, that is not the end of the world. And because of the way the communism and socialism perks and stuff work, if you want to get into a council republic, then you really need a strong trade union, and you need to make it so that they start picking up the personal ideologies that are going to drive them there, because they are not going to want to institute a dictatorship of the proletariat unless you encourage them to. So you have a lot of options when it comes to your IGs. I'm not done with, like, the umbrella of it. We'll probably do a landowner battle, but if you have anything where, like, you have a specific idea for a video that I can do about IGs that'll be, 5 to 10 minutes long, just post them in the comments. Like, I really do love the input from the community here, because it means that I can focus more on, like, how to answer the question than how to come up with the question, right? Like, coming up with the question and the answer sort of feels like cheating. So I'm Walker. That's We Play Games, and welcome to the Academy if this is the first video that you're watching. Take care.